right, let's talk about how transgendered women are being forced to stay in Ukraine and fight with the men. My name is Nathan Laurie. If you are new here, we talk about the law and the facts. If you're about that life, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. So Vice News did this article about a trans woman who was trying to escape war-torn Ukraine, but the government wouldn't let her leave. And the reason why is the government now has a rule, because they're being invaded, that all men who are fighting age, and they consider that to be 18 through 60, must stay in Ukraine and fight for their country. So they just do it based on gender, right? If you're a woman and child, you can go. If you are a man, you must stay. But how do you identify who's who, right? You get the eye test, but then you have the documents. So what they're doing is saying, well, we're gonna look at your documents, and if it says you're a guy, you're staying. If it says you're a female, so long. So it brings this weird issue where if you're a trans woman, your documents are likely going to say that you're a man or male, and you're going to be forced to stay and fight. But if you're a trans man, your documents are likely going to say that you're a trans man or a woman, and you're going to be able to leave. So that's what people are having to deal with in Ukraine. Now, part of it is wild because, we consider this a first world problem, right? This issue between gender and sex and how we think about it, and, whether I can call myself a woman or, whether it's more to it than that. But when it comes to war, it's like what Mike Tyson says, when, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And I think Ukraine got punched in the face and was like, hey, listen, we're not going to deal with any of the social nuance, right? If you're a guy, you're staying. If you're a woman, we don't care how you identify yourself. And this seems to be what's going on here. Now, here's what this person looks like. And this is essentially the problem. This person looks like a woman. It's a trans woman. So I'm going to be politically correct and say this is a woman. But as you can see on her passport, it has that M for male. And that's what's getting her caught up. That's why she's got to stay. Here it is. She's going to explain it to you. Check this out.
If you have male gender in your passport, they will not let you go abroad. They will not let you through. A war within a war, truly, truly.
So now my question is, what do you do? How do you solve this problem, right? Because she is a trans woman, right? Should you allow them to cross the border and go with the women and children? Or should she be forced to stay and fight? Now, when I mean and fight, you don't have to pick up arms, and we're not doing hand-to-hand combat. There are many different things that you can do in a conflict other than actually being the person who shoots the weapon, right? There's logistics, there's planning, there's a whole separate area for people to do other to support the war effort. But this is a difficult question because on one hand, I understand the Ukrainian officials don't want to really get into the nuance. Somebody comes up, they have you look at the passport, it says what it says. You don't want to really have any issues, especially what's going on at the border. But also, trans rights are human rights, right? That's the United Nations. So what do you do? If you're separating people based on gender, is gender this social construct, or is it something real that we have to acknowledge and you got to stay? It's a weird quandary. And hopefully one of you guys in the comment section will let me know, like, what would you do, right? Would you continue this staying policy? Okay, well, she has to stay too, even though she's biologically she's a male, but everything about this person looks like a woman. Versus, do you force trans men to stay who are biologically women, but do you force the trans men to stay and fight and allow trans women to leave? It gets confusing. I don't know what you do. It's a weird quandary, and I am not sympathetic to the people who are going to have to make the decision whether to do this or not, and how to kind of navigate this piece. Unless you're going to give a lot of discretion to the people at the border crossings to, maybe do the eye test. Okay, that's woman or that's a man, but is that fair to the men who have to stay? Or can a man just come up to the border and say, hey, I identify as a woman, let me through? A lot of questions, not a lot of answers, but I thought this was just a fascinating piece that at the end of the day, trans women have to stay and fight, and trans men can leave with the women and children. Talk about a catch-22. My name is Nathan Laurie, and I'll see you next time. Peace.